Today we have a number of speakers lined up for a session that's dealing with technologies for profitable dairy farming. And there are a wide number of technologies that dairy farmers could adopt to be more profitable and more sustainable in the future. But we've had to select 8 technologies that we're going to look at today. And the first one is an interesting experiment that we have started in Moore Park this year. It's to do with automatic milking systems or robotic milking. And this year was really a look-see at that new technology in Moore Park. And Stephen Fitzgerald is going to present a paper on that. The cows, 60-odd cows, went onto that automatic milking system in March of this year. And they've looked at the production, they've looked at somatic cell count, they've looked at the use of the machine and so on this year. And so far so good. It's a technology which could be used on dairy farms, particularly on those farms which might want to expand and are limited by land base at home at the existing milking parlour. So I think that's an interesting technology, and over future years they will be looking at various different combinations of numbers of cows through the machine, the stocking rate, supplementation rate and so on, to see what works best with the automatic milking machine. A second paper is by Eva Lewis, and she looks at the level of supplementation for dairy cows in the springtime. And she has done a review of research that was carried out at Moore Park over the last 20 years and has demonstrated that there is a gap in the energy required by the dairy cow in the spring between what the cow wants and what she can take in. And that gap has to be filled by some level of supplementation. And she is recommending that 3 kilos of meal supplementation for the first 6 weeks of lactation is appropriate, based on a review of research work that has been carried out at Teagasc Moore Park. And the final technology which I'd like to highlight is the paper which is presented by Don Crowley. And he's looking at drying off dairy cows. And Don has a number of years' experience, both outside of Teagasc and working with Teagasc, in advising farmers on milk quality and somatic cell count. And he has made the point that of the farms he has visited, that a number of dairy farms, while they are drying off their cows, they are not doing it correctly. And that is resulting in problems during the dry cow period and during the subsequent lactation. And we saw with Don, he had a video clip of himself drying off a cow, and he went through the procedure from start to finish. He very strongly advised that any dairy farmer should not dry off more than 10 cows at a go, because the job becomes too big and the farmer gets tired towards the end of the job and starts to do it incorrectly. He advises that the cows must be very, very clean, and you must make sure that you use methylated spirits to clean the teats, and also that you infuse the products correctly, that the dry cow tube is massaged up into the udder, but that the teat sealant, if you're using a teat sealant, is left in the teat canal itself, and that's quite important. And then following drying off, it's very, very important that cows are either put out to a clean paddock, or if they have to be housed on cubicles, that the scrapers are run regularly and that the cubicles are kept very clean. And that's extremely important for a week or 10 days following drying off. The challenge always is with new technologies that they are new, and to take them on means that farmers will have to change existing practices, existing habits, and that can be difficult. Our experience is that farmers who are members of discussion groups, and we have research to back this up, farmers who are members of discussion groups tend to adopt practices quicker. And why do they do that? They do that because they have the support of the other members within the group. So at group level, maybe 12 to 15 or 20 farmers, they discuss a new technology. So I would be saying that following today's conference, that the discussion group should discuss the new technologies which are presented at a group, at the local level. And then following that they make some decisions to implement those changes. And the farmers who are doing that then are supported by other farmers, and they can refer to other farmers, their neighbouring farmers, to see, did you try that change? How did it work for you? Because I tried it and it didn't quite work. And then they can be supported in maybe modifying it so it works on their own farm. So we find that membership of the discussion group is very, very important in terms of assisting farmers and encouraging farmers in the process of adopting new technologies.